Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the season finale of Cold Night Chats. Well, folks, it's that time of the year again. Spring is here. It's April. It's 12:50 a.m. on April 13th. So I guess technically now the 14th, 2024. And this is it. This is the last cool front. It's about 60 degrees or so, somewhere around there. Tonight's overnight lows 55, and then that's it. Tomorrow's low is 63, and the next day is 69, and the next day is 74, and the next day is 77, and then it's not going below 75 for another 6 months. So we gotta take a bow and give a salute to the cooler weather in Florida. But I'm probably still going to continue this series. I'll probably fire up a new rendition called Warm Night Chats. That's the tentative title, where it's the same idea, but I'll be inside in the air conditioning, just talking about whatever's on my mind and just documenting where I'm at in life at that particular time. So, because I think it's mostly I just do this for myself, because these things get 4 views, 4 or 5, maybe 1 like. Someone probably pressed it by accident. They're going for the dislike button. But yeah, it's basically just for myself, but I figured there's no sense in privating the videos because it doesn't accomplish anything. I got nothing to hide, and that's ultimately what this is proving, is to just be open and transparent about everything. And never be afraid to tell the truth to yourself, to others, to everyone, no matter what. The truth really will set you free in the long run. If you live a life of lies, it might seem like the more convenient option in the moment, but it's gonna complicate your life way more than you anticipate, and it's gonna weigh you down overall. So it's not worth it. I can tell you from experience, man. Just be honest. Just avoid all that altogether. Just tell the truth. And the truth hurts, but it's just how it is. If everything was easy, then we'd never grow. We'd never accomplish anything. No pain, no gain. So no matter what it costs you, no matter if it's inconvenient or uncomfortable or it's not what someone wants to hear or whatever, it's always going to be the better option to just tell the truth and be honest. And with yourself too, is that's the thing, is the truth isn't just what you say, it's also what you think and what you feel. So, and that's ultimately what leads to your actions, is your thoughts, and deciding which of those thoughts to act on and control your outward expression. Which thoughts do you act on? What's your criteria for deciding which thoughts to act on? These are all questions you gotta ask yourself. I spent a lot of time with these questions. Anyway, that was a little side rant there. So let's zoom out for a second. So where are we at right now? I'm gonna get a sip of water and jog in memory. Okay, so I believe these things it's like a time capsule. That's why I love this so much. It's documenting this moment in time so I can come back in the future and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. I believe that the best part of my life that I have experienced, a better part of my life than anything I've experienced up until this point is upon me now. I believe that I'm entering the best period yet. And there's a lot of obstacles to get to that point. And I've been tested quite a bit. And hindsight is 20/20. You know, I can't always see the forest through the trees, but I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better at it and being more in control and being more present in the moment. I've definitely made a lot of progress in that department. I very rarely experience moments where I like forget what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, or forget the bigger picture and what's actually important. Like, I don't get consumed by emotions or whatever. But so I've come a long way there. But yeah, I've been tested a lot, and in retrospect, being my own harshest critic, I feel that I didn't pass all of them. Like, there's definitely some I'll admit that, like, I didn't get at the time, right? I didn't do the right thing in the moment. But I feel like I passed most of them, or enough of them, to move on and not have to keep repeating it. I think I talked about this on the last one, how it's a cycle that I've noticed where whatever your biggest fear is, or whatever the thing that you're running from is, or the thing you're trying to avoid, or whatever, that's going to keep showing up in your life and manifesting in different ways. And you're going to have to confront that. And you're going to have to conquer it in order to overpower it. So the same obstacles are going to keep appearing, different variations of it, over and over again, until you figure out a solution to it, until you finally confront it and figure out how to resolve that issue, and then you can move on. And then, of course, a little bit further up the road, you're going to have a different obstacle that's probably going to be more complicated or more intense or whatever. That's just a sign that you're leveling up, because then if you look back at the progress, it's like, whoa, I scaled up quite a bit, and now you're way up in the mountains from where you started, a higher elevation. But it's like all you see is just your immediate surroundings, so you just see, oh man, this problem's even worse than the last one, whatever. It's like, well, that's because you're leveling up as a person on your journey, and so the problems you face are going to be greater because you're greater, so everything's to scale. But I think that's a good thing, because then a counter argument to that is, well, why don't I just stay at level 1? And that's what a lot of people do. I would say most people do, is because they don't want to have to keep confronting things and keep solving puzzles and figure things out. They'd rather just coast by and do the easiest thing. But I think spending your whole life on level 1 is like just playing the demo reel, or whatever it's called. Yeah, I think it's called the demo. I have a lot of experience with demos. Yeah, whatever, the demonstration, the little tutorial. Yeah, it's like playing the staying on level 1 is like just playing the tutorial. Just buy the damn game already. Just play it. Put a quarter in. Just do it. Because for all we know, this could be our only chance to. I don't know. I'm probably. I can't say either way, but I probably am not going to be Joshua Lesko the human ever again. in this time period and this circumstance and everything. So this is my one shot to play out this simulation or whatever this is. So I want to get the most out of it. I want to get the most bang for my buck and experience the most, jam pack the most into this limited life as possible. That's just the way I look at it. But do you? It's each their own. But anyway, I keep going on these tangents. So yeah, so they level up. So these same problems are going to keep repeating themselves until you solve it. Your problems are never just going to go away, like just from ignoring it. That's not how it works. You're going to have the same enemies, the same whatever, until you defeat them, and then I'm using these video gaming analogies, but again, I think it's something people can grasp and understand, as a symbolic thing. But yeah, it's just that's what I think. So I've faced the same obstacles for most of my life, honestly, and some of them, like, I made a lot of progress in some areas over the last, I want to say, 3 years. Like, ever since I've lived on my own, basically, is when I stopped being sheltered. Like, I'm in the real world. I'm a big boy now. I have to fend for myself and take care of myself. Like, that's when life actually starts. Is when you're living on your own. So for me, that was November of 2021, and now we're in April of 2024. So, okay, 2.5 years. So some of them I had to face immediately, and then some of them I've held on to longer or found creative loopholes or ways around. But everything that you hide from, everything that you're scared of, it's gonna catch up with you. It's gonna find you eventually. So it's better to get ahead of it, because it's probably not gonna pick a convenient time to show itself. It's probably not gonna be in the way that you would prefer. So it's better to retain control, to go after it, to find it, and be like, okay, next thing on my list that I want to tackle, next thing I want to change about myself, next thing I want to start, stop, or continue. So call back to my New Year's one episode. All right, so here's a list of things I want to start doing, things I want to stop doing, things I want to continue doing. So I think that's a very useful strategy. And just be proactive, take the initiative. And if there's something you don't like about yourself, change it. Don't procrastinate. Why wait? What are you waiting for? It's never going to be convenient. It's never going to be a better time. You're never just going to wake up one day and be like, oh man, whatever should I do today? There's absolutely nothing on my mind and nothing going on. It's not going to happen. You're never going to just have time. You got to make time. You got to make it a priority. If it's important to you, then you'll make it happen. That's just how life works. Anything that's important to you, you prioritize and you make time for and you put in the effort. So if you haven't done that, it just means it's not a priority to you. It's not important. Why isn't it important? That should be the most important thing. Because yourself you're the only one of yourself that you have. You get one body, one mind, one spirit for this whole journey. So that should be your number one investment. Everything in the physical world comes and goes. So you take that as it comes, but you gotta focus on yourself and being in tune with yourself and really elevating yourself. That's just the way I see it. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is because I'm just now figuring all this out. Like, I've been guilty of the same things, which is why, like, I know that you listening to this are, because I was too. So I know how it feels. Now I see both perspectives now. I see both sides of the fence. As I'm telling you, this side is way better. Like, after. And, I'm not saying like I'm at the end of my journey or I've like figured out everything. Is no, I haven't. I've only scratched the surface. But I am saying that I'm fairly confident that I'm on the right track. I have a lot of reasons to believe that I'm on the right track. Yeah. You know. And I don't know exactly like what percentage I'm at or whatever, but I know that I've made substantial progress recently. And I've come a long way, a real long way in my journey up to this point. I have no idea how much more there is to go. I mean, honestly, I hope there's a lot more to go because I'm excited. I'm excited to see where I can take this and what I can accomplish, what I can achieve. I'm excited. Anyway, so what is this all boiled down to? Well, okay. Where should I start? Everything's all jumbled right now. Where should I start? I usually start with work, right? That's like the first portion of this after the weather and the whatever. So work, I'm crushing it. So that's a representation of where I'm at. Like, it's been a journey, it's been a struggle. Definitely. The first couple months in direct, it was a real, not an easy transition. I just kind of dove in head first and had to learn how to swim. So it's kind of like in Wipeout, the show, how they start on the final level, I think it is, the one where it's nighttime, and they get launched out of the catapult or whatever it's called, and then they gotta swim their way to the first obstacle, and they're being timed on that too. It's like, that's what it felt like. And just to get to that first obstacle, man, like, oh. But, and so it's been one thing at a time, because then I'd have to knock a lot of doors. I was knocking more doors in an outreach because I was doing the same thing. I was working more hours. And then, I'd be setting my own appointments, and then most of them wouldn't show up, or they wouldn't be interested, or they'd cancel it, or whatever. And so then I'd have to transition in on the door and get better in that. Then I'd finally get into a house, and then I wouldn't know what to do. So then I had to master the in-home process, and the only way to do that is just with experience. You just got to get into as many houses as possible, and you just got to fail forward, just fail more efficiently, Like, you get into a house, and you'd be like, there's no way around that. There's nothing to prepare you for that. You got to experience it for yourself. And you'll learn way more from your failures than from your successes. I will tell you that much. I learned so much more from my bad days than I did from my good days. That's what's really going to help you evolve, and that's what makes the difference between leveling up or staying where you're at, is how do you take those bad days? Do you just run and retreat, or do you analyze it and come up with the plan? Because that's the only way that it's going to change. Because just hoping that tomorrow is going to be better, that's not based in any kind of logic. Like, it never gets easier. You just get better. Knocking doors is never going to be easy. It's all just about your skill set and your mindset. That's all it is. But, so then I started getting LOIs, and then I had to learn how to close, because then I was having trouble with that, and then I got that, and then I got put on lead shift, and so then I was running outreach appointments, and that was a little bit different, so I had to figure that out too. I had to figure out each of the different reps and what I'm walking into, what to expect, and all that stuff. And then, once I started running outreach leads, I was getting, going through a lot more in-home presentations. So I was exposed to a lot more different types of homeowners and different types of situations, types of houses, neighborhoods, circumstances, whatever, like houses that I wouldn't have knocked on my own, so I have to adjust to that and figure out what to do. So, it's been a lot of trial and error and a lot of new experiences, a lot of learning curves and things like that. But now I'm at 25 LOIs and 11 contracts signed. That's pretty damn good. It's a 50% close rate. And so this month, so April, so to give you some perspective, February, I closed my first 3 deals. They were all self-gens, and all of them I was accompanied by a manager. Like I did the LOI by myself, but they came with me to the close to make sure that it went through. But those 3 were pretty smooth. March, I got 3 closes as well. I did all of those completely by myself, and only the first one was a self-gen, and the other 2 were from outreach. So that's a big step up as well, and I was getting a lot more LOIs. That was kind of March 9th is when I started running outreach leads. So that's when I was like starting to figure out, I was getting my volume up on getting into homes, because I was running like 5 to 8 appointments a week. But not all of them were good, not all of them qualified or, whatever. But I was figuring it out. So it was a lot more volume in March, whereas February was more about knocking doors and, self-gens, because all I had was self-gens. So now April, we're only halfway through it. I already have 5 contracts signed this month. They're all from outreach. So I'm pacing for 10 this month, which is triple last month. So now is when it's getting real, and I have 6 installations scheduled in the next 3 weeks. So then I'm on 50-50 pay, so I get 50% of the commission when the contract's signed and the other 50% at the installation. So once these installs come in, I'm going to be getting paid that plus all the new contracts. So now it's finally what I was salivating about in my mind when I was in outreach, when I pictured a Solar Pro would be like. I made it happen for myself, and I'm really proud of that. And so now is when it's really kicking in. Obviously it's delayed a little bit, the payments and stuff like that, but I'm finally making some significant progress now in getting out of debt, paying off my credit cards, paying off my car, because there's no way I'm, be paying that. It's a 72-month term, and I put on more miles than the average truck driver, so there's no way it's going to last that long. So I got to get that paid off ASAP. And then I got to get it fixed, too. So the situation with that, it's getting the body work and stuff that it still hasn't gotten 6 months later, is because the bottom line is, after all this, I cannot get a rental car under any circumstances under the age of 21. So I gotta wait till I'm 21 to get a rental car. So if this would have happened when I was 18 or 19, that would have sucked. But my birthday is next week. I can't believe it's that soon. I'm not in that mode at all. I'm just grinding every day. But my birthday is in 10 days now. It's on the 23rd. So then I already had the estimates. I have everything ready to go. I can just drop the car off at Toyota and go into Hertz and rent a car and pay out of pocket and keep the receipt, and the insurance will reimburse me when it's done. And I can finally get that car fixed after all this time. But that's going to cost money too, because I already spent the or the check that they gave me when I was broke. So, I need to allow for that as well. So, so I got to get out of debt first before I'll have money to disposable income, but still that's a huge thing, where I can actually allocate things rather than having all my money to be spoken for just to get by and having to go deeper into debt. So, shit. Dude, this chair just broke. What the hell? I've been sitting in it this whole time. It's been fine. What? Man, that's like the bench at the gym. Alright, well, I can stand for the rest of this. That's weird. But yeah, so money's good. I'm second place in the office, right? In the whole office, only by one. The top guy, the other Josh, has 6 closes, and I have 5. So I just need 1 more to tie him, 2 more to beat him, and I already have 3 scheduled this week. So I'm probably gonna come out on top this month, which is crazy for only my 3rd month. And this guy's been here over a year. It's just because I'm just a harder worker, I go out there and I make it happen. And that's really all I've been doing is working. I don't really do a whole lot outside of work, which is the downside of that, is that it's been lopsided. I'm not necessarily putting that same amount of time and energy into other things that I would like to. But now that, I finally taking off is going to require all the effort. And then once you've taken off and now that I know the process and I've got it down to an algorithm, I don't have to restart that. So it's a lot easier to keep it going. The hardest part is getting it going, So now that I finally got it going, not to say that I'm going to let off the gas or anything, but, I don't have to, it's not as stressful anymore now. So I can put some energy into things outside of work. But I'm not going to be lazy, though. I promise. I made a promise to Tyson and a promise to myself. I'm never going to be lazy. So right now they have me running leads 5 days a week, which is absurd because I got to have time to go back and close these things. It's a 2-step process. So if I'm running 3 or 4 appointments a day, 5 days a week, I'm running 20 appointments a week. So I might, maybe half of them are decent appointments. So, the rest are either no-shows or cancel at the door or failed credit or don't have their electric bill or what have you. But suppose I get half of them for the LOI. That's 10 a week. So I got to schedule 10 closes a week, and now I only have 2 days to spread them from. And then even in those 2 days, we have meetings, we got conference calls, we got things we got to be on, and all that stuff. So as I only have a few hours to choose from, and those few hours aren't going to work for every single homeowner, and I can't double book myself. So if someone's like, oh, I can only do after 5 o'clock, well, that's only 1 time slot or maybe 2, depending on how far away it is. Because if I have a 5:30 appointment in Daytona Beach, and now there's someone in Titusville that needs after 5, the earliest I could book them after 5:30 would be 8 o'clock, and then I'll be like, oh, well, that's too late, so then I got to pick another. You know what I mean? So it's I have no choice but to schedule some closes for days that I'm on lead shift, and the management gets very upset about that, and they're like, oh, we only have 3 people running leads, so we can't have you declining these appointments or whatever. It's like, I gotta close them though. So the leads are supposed to take priority. So you just gotta gamble and just look at the statistics on when usually the lulls in the appointments are, and try to squeeze them in, the closes, for like a tentative time. And then you got to figure out where in the area, because you never know where the leads are going to come from. I might get a lead in Tavares, and I'm down in Palm Bay, and that's a 2-hour drive. So now I got to drop everything I'm doing and head up there, and then I got to go to Deltona, and then I got to go to Claremont, and then, I'm going all over the place. So, it's about efficiency. So it is very chaotic. My days are very chaotic. But it's worth it because I'm making money. So I'm not complaining about it, but it's just it's a lot of improv and a lot of brain power, and so then if I get an appointment that comes up and we don't have anyone else to run it, then I gotta text my homeowner, hey, I know we had an appointment at 5:00, but I gotta go to the other side of the state, can I come back later? And they're like, oh no, that's too late. I'm like, all right, well, let's do another day then, and then figure it out. And then like they say, oh, something came up on our end, we can't do that day, let's do. So sometimes, like, I've lost a couple like that where I just never got a chance to go back and close them, because it was never like we scheduled the time, and then either they rescheduled it or I had to reschedule it, and we never were able to find a new time, so that's a shame, but it is what it is. So, I'd rather run leads like 3 days a week, and then do closes, 2 to 3 days, and then, I would say leads 3 days, closes 3 days, and then have 1 day, where I can either do my self-gens, referral appointments, go visit installs, or go to events, have a booth somewhere. Whoa, what is that? It's an armadillo. That's what's been making all the noise. Wow. But that's how I'd rather do, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't work like that. Yeah. You guys, you see this armadillo? This shit is crazy. But anyway. So very busy stuff. So I've been neglecting other areas of my life that I now would like to start focusing on, like my music, for example. I wrote my first song today in probably 3 months. Yeah, so I just recently went to Guitar Center. I got my amp fixed. I got a new cable. I got my guitar I got brand new strings and everything retuned and upgraded. So I'm feeling that energy now. So I'm getting back into it, relearning the chords, and I'm basically starting from scratch. So, and remembering how to play songs that I wrote when I didn't know what chords were. But so that's another thing too. And I'm about to download FL Studio. That'll be the next step. That'll be the next thing I buy. But I want to relearn the chords and stuff and get that memorized first, and then put in FL Studio. And then that's by that point I'll probably be straight up addicted to this, where if I have any time that I'm home, I'm going to be working on a song. I can already see it. And that's good. And then the gym, I've been trying, kind of has been an off and on. I never really got away from it, but I definitely because whenever I'm on shift, I can get an appointment pop through and with only an hour notice, and it'll be 2 hours away. So then if I'm in the gym, I gotta just get in the car and go, So sometimes I'll be in the middle of a workout and I never get a chance to finish it, whatever, or the time slot that I allotted, I ended up having to do something else or go to a close or an appointment or a meeting or whatever. So because of the chaos, there's some scheduling conflicts, but I'm trying to prioritize. I'm trying to, like, what I've had to do, like last night, is a nighttime workout, and I haven't worked out at night in a long time because I've always just thinking like morning, but it doesn't always work like that because sometimes I just got to get up and go, and then I'm gone for 12 hours. So, like yesterday, I got home at like 9:30 p.m. and I was like, fuck it, I'll just work out, just hit the gym, get a lift in, and I did. You gotta get it where you fit it, So it is what it is. Any workout's better than no workout. Even if it's at different times and different days, who cares? Like, the alternative is to not work out, and that's always going to be the least beneficial option. So with all of that comes a better attitude, more confidence, etc. So I have noticed my social skills improving gradually, anxiety becoming less of a factor, and because like it's kind of ironic, right, to have social anxiety of any kind being in my line of work. Like, I'm literally in people's homes selling them a custom product, for that. So it's like it kind of forces you to confront that. So, and then especially getting good at it, I think it's really so. Is that? Oh, that's like you seeing this? What the hell? Whoa. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. All that symbolism stuff's real, man. You just can't discredit any of that. That's a topic for another time. I gotta get to bed. It's 1:30 in the morning now. So, like, I know it's Saturday night, but this is late. Even for me. I'm never up this late anymore. I left those days behind me. So, I get my ass to bed and rise and shine and grind and do it all again. But I just felt compelled to make this because it's literally my last chance for a quote-unquote cold night chat. So, here it is. This is where I'm at. Finally getting a little sample of the good life, or a preview of it, so to speak. The coming soon, like the premiere being scheduled, at a theater near you, this kind of thing. So, there are a few other points I wanted to mention, but it's kind of running out of time. Unless I can remember something offhand. Nah, I don't want to get into all that. Yeah, this is a good stopping point. But yeah, same deal as always, and I'll probably do warm night chats whenever I feel like it, but it'll be inside. Alright, well, till next time, take care everyone, and have a good night.